Hey VC, this is Ron. Thanks for joining me. You know, last night I posted a video of recent finds, and I shot in a darkened room and I had this light shining up against the side of my face, and it made me look like I was 100 years old. So I couldn't live with that. And plus I made some mistakes in my presentation, so I decided to do a reshoot. So I gotta take me 15 minutes to knock it out. And hopefully I'll end up with something I'm happy with. So those of you who left comments, I apologize. So let's get going on the recent finds that I've picked up over the past couple of weeks. And what is on the turntable right now? It's this really cool psych album called Nevermind. This was originally a private press out of Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1973. It's by Damon E., A.L.K., and Brother Clark. It's their only album. And they only pressed 500 copies of it originally, so it's quite rare. I picked up this official reissue of it. It's the first official reissue. And it's on Nero's Neptune out of Minneapolis, Minnesota label. And they pressed 475 copies of this one. So, really nice quality package, heavy stock cover, matte finish. Really cool. It's been remastered, sounds really good. And it also came with this lyric sheet. They reproduced the original lyric sheet that it came with, so you would read it this way, flip it, and you'd read it that way. So very cool. Definitely recommend this album. Okay, this next one that I've got is Groovedelic, modern dance floor cuts from the 60s. And a VC member sent me this, hippie DJ Kit, and he lives in Greece. So he was a contest winner of mine, and he was gracious enough to send this album. And it's a compilation of American singles. It's not your typical garage comp. It's more like dance songs, stuff that you would dance to in the 60s. It has vocals. And it's very cool. I enjoyed it a lot, and it's nothing that I have in my collection, so it was really a fun listen. So very cool. So thanks Kit for this. I'm gonna be listening to this for many years to come. And incidentally, limited edition of 300 copies, so very cool. Good quality sound too on that. I was pretty impressed with it. Okay. This next one I've got is Grand Funk Railroad, E Pluribus Funk. And this came out in 1971, and look at that cover. Hardly no wear to that foil metallic cover. Really nice. And it came with a insert. This album came out in 71 on Capitol Records. It's got a custom label. And I read a review on this, and this guy was raving over this album. I guess some people don't care for it too much, but he loved it, and he said it was the most consistent hard-rocking Grand Funk album that they made. And incidentally, it was the last one that was produced by Terry Knight. This next one, this is just a fantastic album. It's split by Groundhogs, and this is an original Italian pressing. This album is just so good. Sort of heavy rockin' psych. All of side one, fantastic. Cherry Red, that's another standout track. Come out in 71, and there's 3 initial pressings of this album in Italy. And I believe I got the earliest one. Everything about this is identical to the UK British copy. In fact, it's a British cover. So I'm thinking they sent the covers to Italy, and Italy pressed their own record. Even the label's identical to the British counterpart, but it does say manufactured in Italy on the label. And then there was an immediate second pressing where they changed the catalog number. They changed the G to, I believe, an S. And then right after that, there was another pressing in '72 where everything was totally Italian. The label, the cover, they redid everything, different catalog numbers and everything. That was on United Artists label. So I think this is the very earliest version of the album. And near mint vinyl, sounded great. Very glad to have found that. Then I picked up Spooky Tooth, Witness. And this is an original early UK pressing. This came out in '73. And in the US we did not have this cover. We had like a red cover, and it had this photo of the band on the front with the crosses. But I love this cover. This is way better than what came out in the US. I really like this album a lot. I've listened to it a couple of times, and it's the first Spooky Tooth album I ever had. So I really like this album. Very cool. I've always liked Gary Wright. He was the lead singer in Spooky Tooth, and I've always liked him. Then I picked up the Savoy Brown Hellbound Train, and this is the original US copy. And I did not care for this album too much, although the title track, Hellbound Train, that's killer. It's a long song too. It's like 9 minutes long. Totally cool. Then I picked up a very early UK copy of McCartney. This is got the earliest Matrix numbers, and it's got the dark green apple. Nice clean copy of this, and I got a great price on it. And I had not heard this album in like 30 years. So yeah, I had it back in the 80s. It seems to have one of those military price stickers on it that came from a military base. $2.50. I'll probably leave that on there. I could take it off, but I might just leave that on there. It's part of its history. And I got something that'll blow your guys' minds. A while back I did a video, believe it or not, and I showed an album that I sold in 1980, and it came back to me like more than 35 years later. Well, I got another, believe it or not. Probably not as mind-blowing as that one, but close. So here's the original receipt that I got with the album. See there, it's McCartney, and there's what I paid for it. And you see the date at the top. It's Monday, April 17th, 2017. When I was doing some research on this album, I discovered that that album was released in the UK on April 17th, 1970. I mean, that's the day that I bought that album. I mean, that gives me the chills thinking about that. It's like, wow. 1 in 365 chance of that happening, and I nailed it. Unbelievable. And plus, it's a UK copy. Now in the US, that album was released 3 days later on April 20th. So, wow, incredible. Then I picked up the first album by the Inmates, First Offense, Isn't that a great title for a first album by a band called the Inmates, First Offense? Totally cool. And I've not heard this one yet. It's on Polydor. Come out in '79. It's got their famous cover version of the Standells' Dirty Water. And then they also do a cover version of Midnight to Six Man by the Pretty Things. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. I've been holding off on getting it because I wanted a nice copy of it, and I finally found one. Then I picked up 3 Church albums. I got a sealed US promo copy, and this came out on Capitol Records. This album was originally released in '81. I think it was released here in the States in '82. And they dropped a couple of songs off the original album that was in Europe. And they added a couple of songs that were singles just to beef it up a little bit. So yeah, this has still got the original seal. These go for good money on eBay. We're talking, I mean, not even sealed, like $25, $30 for this album in near mint condition. So yeah, I got this other one. And I think this one's a record club because it doesn't have a barcode on it. That other copy does. So this is what the label looks like. I'll show you. So it's got the sticker on the front here. So yeah, 25, 30 bucks for this near mint. I got them cheap. So good buy on those. And here's another one that's it's called Remote Luxury, come out in '84. This is actually a couple of EPs that were put together to make one album. It's not really a proper album. And this has got a promo stamp on the front. This one came out with the inner sleeve, and it was pressed on Warner Brothers. So this one's real clean too, and I got it cheap as well. So a good find on those Church albums. Okay, I've got a couple of more here that I didn't show in my other video because I forgot that I had them. And I bought them both basically for nostalgia. I got the Animals Greatest Hits. This is the reunion from the reunion tour, and their '83 reunion tour. And this is live in England. I never bought this album before. I knew it was not a good album. Personally, I would like to have seen like some live versions from Ark, their reunion album, thrown on here. But this is like all their old '60s hits. It's kind of boring. I would have liked to have had, it's on IRS. Yeah, I would have liked to have had some of those newer songs on this as well. I think it would have made it a little bit better. But yeah, I found a nice near mint copy of it, and I did see them in '82. So just for the nostalgia thing, you know, it was fun to hear this after all these years. So glad I finally picked up a good copy of it. And this one is the last album by the Canadian band Clat 2. And I guess it's Magnetaland, something like that. And this came out in 1981. It was their last album. It was only released in Canada and in Mexico. So they're not that easy to come by. And it comes with an inner sleeve, lyric sheet. Here's a picture of the band. That's the first time I'd ever seen a picture of Clat 2. I used to be a big fan of this band when I was in high school. I never had this album though. So here's the label. It's on Capitol. It's not that good. I was disappointed. There's some decent songs on it. It's very Beatles-ish. I think if they'd gone a little bit more into a prog vein like they had on some of their earlier albums, I think it would have been a lot better. But yeah, they were a good band in the day. So yeah, I was glad to find that. Okay, that does it. And I want to thank Hippie DJ Kid again for sending me that album. I want to welcome all my subscribers. Thanks for joining in. Hope you stick around. And that's going to be it for this one. And wish everybody a good week, and catch you on the rebound later. Bye.